Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine. The time to say yes to your dreams and aspirations is here.
You know, despite the challenges, the setbacks, then what kept you going? I mean, what made you stick to or stick with?
Getting inspiration. I was getting messages from the past telling me, this is your way, this is your life, this is the way. Because you have to ask what a person wants. My father and I were not friends. The moment I decided I wanted to be a musician, I became the, cartage that must be destroyed. So at a point, I had to run away from home and move to the home of my great uncle in Independence Layout, where I had peace and quiet. He was more enlightened and more liberal. And he understood what I was doing because his brother, my grandfather, was a musician, and he knew what was happening to me. That I was carrying a mantle that I could not reject. He understood that.
Yes, yes. Now, I need you to tell us about some of your popular songs and popular movie roles, the ones you can remember, the ones you are judged, to be very popular.
I think that
songs. The one that readily comes to mind is "Does Your Mama Know" or "Does Your Papa Know?" You know the one I'm talking about.
You're only 17, giving love to me like no other else. Everybody says it's wrong, that I'm much too old for you, but in my heart, I'm so young. Does your mama know? Does your papa know? Does your brother know? Does your sister know? Does your uncle know? Does your auntie know?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so tell us some of your movie roles, some of the movie years.
Well, I had started Nollywood, and Nollywood wasn't feeding me. And then we went down to my village. We tried to do a series called Okpuru Anyanwu with Mike Olifedima. I'm sure you know about it.
I do. I know Mike Olifedima.
All this happened 12 years before living in bondage. Do you understand? So, what was your question again? I'm getting older, so.
I said you tell us some of the popular movies you took part in.
I was saying when I came back, actually my uncle's wife was writing me. I was living in Italy, where I was working. By the way, you said that I'm stuck on showbiz. I'm not stuck on show business.
Okay.
I've done so many at university in Italy, and I came back. I opened a trucking industry. I had 6 trucks. So I was an agbero. I'm still an agbero in Ido and Alaba Park. And I opened a factory, a small factory that was making cosmetics and creams and all of that. And eventually I went into the diplomatic service for Italy. I became consultant, media consultant to the Italian ambassador in Nigeria. From there, went into diplomatic service, went to Uganda for Italy. I'm Italian citizen, by the way, and Dubai. So I have done so many other things. I've worked as an editor, not as good as yourself.
Thanks. Thanks for the.
I have written for the Sun newspaper for so many years. If you remember, Clear Lights by Ejike.
I remember.
So I've done a lot of other things besides entertainment.
All right. All right.
The movies I remember.
Yes.
Scores to Settle with Omotola Jalade and Richard Moffett Amijo, Patrick Doyle. I remember I stood face to face with 3 cobras, you know, inside a room that Chikwe had locked and taken away the key. So, so only God saved me from those things. But I will not only me.
Yes, all right.
Scores Settle.
Yes.
Confusion.
All right.
With K-O-A-K, Kanayo O Kanayo. It's another veteran that I was with when we started Nollywood. He was one of the people I was acting with before then. People like Olu Jacob were still abroad. He had not come back. And Pete Edoche was still general manager of the ABS radio. I'm telling you facts.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You understand?
Yeah,
that's for the doubting Thomases.
Yes, I know. I know. Madam Esa Gesse is here. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Esa Gesse. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, wonderful, sonorous.
Yes. Now, of all these things that you have done, which one gives you the greatest joy and why?
Well, let me finish with the film. I want to mention some of the most recent. There are 2 films I like to remember. Ijuwa by Pete, by Chico Ejiro.
All right.
I remember that because I translated it to Igbo 1, and I converted it to comedy. You know, and I played the lead in it. So I remember that quite well. I remember a series, you know, Chico stands on the right, Zeb stands on the left, and I am standing on their shoulders. Without them, I can't stand. Because every movie they have made, they were the ones that gave me my first lead role. Before that, I was doing doctor, pastor. Look, there's a long list of films, you know, Outcast 2, Deadly Proposal, Campus Girls. It's a very long. I've been in 120 movies.
Wow, that's a long list. It's all right. It's all right. So now I need you to take that question. Of all these things that you have done, which one gives you the greatest joy? Acting, singing, being a lecturer, being an interpreter, being a businessman, being an agbero, like you put it. You know, which one gives you the greatest joy?
I get my greatest joy when I have the microphone and I'm on the stage singing.
Wow, I love that. I love that. I love that. Now, I need you to tell us what makes a good actor.
A good actor is that actor that when he's acting, you don't remember who he is.
Okay.
He transforms into the character he's representing. And he's able to put himself into different characters and be authentic and convincing. That's a good actor.
Wow. So who is a good musician or a good singer? What makes a good singer? What makes a good musician?
A good singer is a singer who does not imitate, who does not pretend to be anybody else but himself. So when he stands up, he represents only himself than his original. I remember one event that I went for the Italian embassy in Kampala, Uganda. And the chancellor of Makerere University, that greatest institution in East Africa of higher learning, was advising, because there was an art exhibition and he was talking to the artists. He said, many of you work for so many years and you get nothing. You don't get money, you don't get fame. The reason is you are not original. You are copying other people, so people see nothing to pay you for. When they see your work, they see what you copied. The only thing that can make you real and make you succeed is originality. So you stop trying to be James Brown. People have already had James Brown. You don't need another James Brown.
Wow. Wow, I love that.
Yeah, you have to be yourself. So if you look at those who are succeeding, like David O, when you hear Wizkid, you know this is Wizkid. You don't have to listen twice.
Yeah. I love that.
Basically, that is the first step. Then, of course, there are other things like gathering around yourself, authentic and skilled people, very skilled musicians who can actually interpret your feeling and add something to it.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Wow.
Yes.
Earlier on, you said something about Chico Ejiro, so I need to take you back a little to Chico. I heard from the grapevine that both of you were working on a production, before death took him away. Tell us a little about the production and maybe how you got the news, and also what will become the fate of the production.
Who will become the what? Or the fate of the production?
Yes.
I want to wait for him to be laid to rest first.
Okay.
Before we get back to that. But I worked with Chico in the last 2 months of his life. And we were working virtually because I was here in London and he was in Lagos. But I remember I wrote this movie. It's actually a screenplay of a book called Shattered Pearl, which I have on sale in Amazon. So I decided to split it up into movies. So we are working on the first part of the movie. And I wanted everything to be arranged, organized, cast and done, so that when I come in, I have just 2 weeks to stay, we shoot, and then I go. And I knew the only person who could do it in Nigeria was Chico Ejiro, Mr. Papa. Mr. Prolific.
I gave him the title, Mr. Prolific.
He was one person who believed in me more than most people. So I loved him. There is nothing he does that he does not include me. Nothing he would do without me. Even if I was just coming in. Because, I've been living in different places. I come in and Chico says, I'm about to shoot tomorrow. However, Bob, you are here now. Look at the cast list. Remove any name. Look at the script. Anyone you want to play, just cancel the name of the person there and put your name. Zeb did that with me too. So they are my friends. And so when it was time for me to do my own movie, I had to call on Chico. The people were telling me, oh, there are new generation directors. I said, where is his experience? New generation of what? Did he learn it in his mother's womb? These are people who have been doing this thing for the last 30 to 40 years. Why would I leave them to go and bring in people? They say, oh, he's working for Netflix. Who cares about it? Netflix, somebody gathered money a few years ago and started that. It cannot come and tell us what to do in Nollywood. So I started working with Chico, and we are working every day, getting ready. We had our cast and everything, And then Chico tells me that he was sick. I said, what's wrong? He said he had issues in his lungs and in his blood pressure, heart. I said, send me your what do you call it? The test results. I want to look at it. I have had a little experience because for over 20 years, I have been dealing with blood pressure. I have also had heart complications. You know, I've had at least 2 electronic heart operations.
Wow.
Yes, but luckily nothing broken, no veins blocked or anything like that. So I've been lucky. But I've also been under intense control by my doctors. I take up to 5 tablets every day.
Mm.
And I know if I was living in Nigeria, I couldn't afford that. You know? And this is why we die. You know? So I was really, really disturbed, especially when he said he could not walk for more than 20 minutes. He couldn't climb stairs. And because I've been through that myself, I knew what he was going through. And then I said, let us stop. I want you to go to Luth. Luth. He asked why. I said, because in Luth, there can be up to 20 cardiologists in different areas. So in any area you need, they can get a specialist. Luth is not glamorous. It's not a place for comfort, but you are sick. You are not looking for glamour. You understand? Get to Luth. He said the traffic from Lekki was so bad. I said, but you pass it once, then you stay in the hospital in admission. You need to be on admission. Why not a private hospital? I said, these private things you call hospitals are not hospitals. They are not hospitals, so they are private clinics. The man they say is a cardiologist may be a dentist. There's no way you can ask him, hey, can I see your certificate? So please go to Luth. And we spoke again in 2 weeks, and he said he had gone to this private clinic in Lekki, and they actually have a cardiologist. They've done the test and they've certified him to be all right. He can get back to work. And then I came in. I've been out of Nollywood for a long time, besides coming in to take a film role once in a while. So, but this is production, so it's a bit more complicated. And he was working with Obi Osotule, I think, as his production assistant producer or something. And I came in having transferred cash and everything ready, let's shoot. And then there was a little issue of budget. How much are we spending and how much are we getting? From what we are spending and what we are getting, I didn't see more than £200. And I said, this guy business don't clear me. You know, I flew from London on a £2,000 ticket to come to Lagos to do a film. And then we started wrangling over that. And at a point I said, listen, when we finish this film, how long will it take to get it across into the DSTV or Iroko TV and all of that? And you need another 2 weeks or so. I said, then let's postpone this. Next year, I have 1 month and 1 week holiday because I work here in London and my company cannot allow me a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know? So he said, okay, that was a good idea. I said, then you also need to rest because the way I see you, you don't look strong. I need you to rest. And I wanted to work with Chief Festus Igalo, you know, also I wanted him to get involved in that production. So I went to see Festus and I told him we are going, because I was also communicating, we are going to shoot this early next year, around February. That was the schedule. And then Festus looked at me and told me, Bob, you need to go and rest, spend 2 days in bed. I don't want to hear that you've gone. So Chico and I were more or less at the same level because Festus, what he saw in me is what I saw in Chico. So I went home and I slept for 2 days. And Festus is like my father.
Mm.
And
Wow.
then I returned to London, and it was on Christmas Day that Amina called me. Amina Anyebuna is an actress who had actually schedules, was supposed to be in the film. He called me and said to me, "Have you heard the news?" I said, "What news?" He said, "Chico is dead." What are you talking about? Chico is not dead. I had seen him in my Facebook. He had a camera and was shooting a movie. So when I told him to rest, he hadn't gone to rest. He had gone to shoot another film. And you know him, Mr. Prolific is like that. He's restless. He can't rest. He can't take off and rest.
So how did you feel? How did you feel when you got the sad news?
Look, I was here for 2 weeks. I didn't move out of this room. It was a period of very profound mourning.
Wow.
Because it's a loss, not just to me. He's one of the most talented people in Nigeria.
I agree with you.
Probably in the world. You know,
I agree.
He's a man I worked with. I remember working with him on Nollywood scandals, and we sit in his office alone all night, you know, cracking our brains to bring up ideas to put down in this script. And,
I remember. I remember. No,
ideas start flowing.
Yes. Yes. Now I saw something on Facebook. It's like you remarried or something. Would you like to talk about it?
First, first I got divorced. I was divorced.
Okay.
My wife had kicked me out a very long time ago. So I'd been.
We didn't know what happened. Why did your wife kick you out?
No, normally I don't talk about my family affairs.
Your wife. You started it. You just said your wife kicked you out.
Yeah. My wife kicked me out in Dubai.
Okay.
Because we were in Uganda together. She also works for the Italian embassy as a diplomat.
I remember. I know.
We were together. But by the way, never because sometimes I've heard some people say you are enjoying the diplomat's money and all of that. I am the one that took the impoverished lady from Italy to Nigeria, Ejike, and got her the job at the embassy.
How long were you married? How long were you?
30 years.
Okay, yeah, so you were talking about how she kicked you out. What was her grounds?
Ground was that I was spending so much money in show business, and this money was not always coming back. I drink black tea, tea and water, no sugar, no milk. At my age, you don't need milk and sugar if you want to stay long.
Okay.
Yes.
So
why?
She
said I was too consumed. You know, we had been in Uganda 5 years. 5 years of Uganda. Kampala has 2,000 nightclubs. They all want me to play every night. You understand? You know Bobby Wine?
I do.
He's my very good friend. I used to sleep in his house. And we had shows together.
Yeah, I know him very well.
I had a show with Bobby Wine and Aki and Popo that pulled 200,000 people.
Okay. Yes, you were telling me about. She didn't want you to be performing in the nightclubs or something.
Well, she said I neglected the family and she turned the children against me. Said I was always outside, day and night. I was always active. Now they were now seeing me on TV. It's on TV that they saw me.
Okay, so it was after she kicked you out that you now decided to marry a Nigerian.
No, after she kicked me out,
Yeah.
In fairness, she didn't kick me out, but I decided I wasn't taking any of that anymore. I took my bag and left because I'm an artist. You married me as an artist. You can't turn me into a banker. I'm not a banker. I'm an artist.
All right.
It has its requirements. The requirement, if you have an album, is that you have to go out, especially in Uganda. You have to. Uganda is not. The entertainment is not based on television or internet. You have to be in the club performing because it's a country where people finish work, they go to the club. You understand?
Yes.
So people are in the club performing.
Okay. All right. All right. So it was when that marriage failed that you now took a new wife.
Not really in that sense, because the marriage had terminated effectively over about 10 years or so.
Okay, so you waited for another 10 years before you now took a new wife.
But there are a lot of considerations. I've got a son that is 26, got a master's degree from Cambridge, and is listed to one of the most brilliant people that went to Cambridge. You don't want to lose a son like that in this kind of mess. You understand?
Yes.
I have a daughter, an accountant from Loughborough, one of the best universities in the world. She's working in Manchester. You know, the children are here. My last daughter is an actress. She's done 5 movies in the UK. You know, so you don't want to become an enemy to your children. So I waited 10 years. And suddenly my wife calls me and tells me, Bob, you understand the status of our relationship. I don't want to go into a whole lot of things, but a lot has to do with money. You know, a lot of money is being earned. It makes people to become more greedy. They want to hold everything to themselves. That's what broke our marriage, money. That, oh, your own is 10%, mine is 90%. You don't share money, we are family. You understand?
Yeah.
You say, oh, yes, it's 10%. I am this, I am that. I am the Pope and you are the slave. You know?
Okay. So, after 10 years, when did you now come to the realization of the fact that you need to marry another woman and start your life?
Basically, she called me and said, our status is this, so I need a divorce. I said, why? What did I do wrong? She said, we talked about it all through our lives. You don't change. You never change. You love only your showbiz. You don't love anybody else. It's only your music. So your television, your Nollywood. You're not interested. And all the money you're getting is going in there. And much of it is not coming out. And, you know, and no. And, I said, can we talk about it? He said, no. I've actually called my lawyer. And the lawyer just needs you to sign because he's already ready to proceed to court. So what did I do? I called my family members and I told them, my brothers, sisters, what do you say about this? They said, well, if a woman says she wants to go, are you going to force her to stay? She wants to go. So her mind is not there anymore. She has come to the benefit of the thing, the creativity. You know, because I put my mind into things and they generate.
Okay.
They generate fortune.
So will it be right?
Always for others.
All right. Now, Bob, will it be right for us to say that your involvement and your love for showbiz contributed to the collapse of your marriage?
That is the reason why the marriage collapsed.
Okay.
So no other reason. She said, specifically, your mind is in showbiz, your heart and soul is there. That's your love is Nollywood. You shouldn't even have married, she said. You didn't need to have children.
Tell us about your new wife and how both of you met.
My new wife has been my secretary for 20 years.
Was it after your marriage collapsed that you people started dating, or Was anything happening before then?
Under the carpet.
Yes, under the carpet. Because anytime people
nothing was
marry their
happening under the
okay.
Nothing was happening because sometimes your secretary, people kind of demonize men who fall in love with their secretary. At the end of the day, the secretary is your next confidant. She is the person who understands what you are doing. Because, my job is not a job, an office job. My secretary is with me. She has been with me in studios, every studio in Lagos. We have stayed overnight recording. There's no recording I've done in the last 20 years that she was not involved.
Okay. Tell us about her. What's her name? Where is she from? How long did it take you to convince her to be your wife? And so, because we're winding down.
You are now in the gossip. You are a gossip writer. And I have only been your customer once. You remember?
I remember, and it wasn't a funny one. I think I was in Encomium then.
These Encomium people decided to make use of me.
Don't let us go that round. Let's talk about this one first.
Okay, let's leave that one.
Yes, I think yes. Tell us about her. What's her name and how long it took you?
No, there is a limit to. If you want, my wife is somebody who cherishes her privacy and sobriety. Okay. Now I've gone into show business with my first marriage and it collapsed.
Okay.
So I'm not going into show business with this one. I should have at least learned one lesson.
All right.
I can't say my wife's name.
I know
those kind of things.
Yeah, I know her name. I know some of those ones, but I mean to say it. Yes, let me take two more questions so that we've been discussing for an hour and 30 minutes. So let me take two more questions.
Yes. Thanks for all your time.
Yes. Now this new marriage, what are you expecting from it?
What are you expecting? At my age now, 60. At 60, when you marry, the only thing you need is peace and quiet. You don't want to go to town and burn down the city. I used to do that at 20, 25. Set the city on fire, not at 60. At 60, you are slowing down. You are trying to. But what you are trying is not to be the lonely old man groping with a walking stick home alone. That's all you are trying to do.
All right.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do. Right.
But
all right.
Of course, you must have in mind when you are 60 and you are getting married to someone much younger than you, that at some point she's going to become your boss. Just that's the one you have to be training yourself to. Don't worry, I've been through that already. So I've had some training by marrying Italian. Don't marry Oyibo. When you marry Oyibo, you are actually a glorified houseboy. Once I told you.
Let me take the final question so that we can round off. Finally, what is your dream? Yes, finally, what is the dream for Nollywood? What's your dream? I mean, as one of those who started it, one of the pioneers.
I am not one of those who started Nollywood. I am the founder of Nollywood. I don't know why all of you are reluctant to give me that.
As the founder,
I am the one, listen, I am the one who conceptualized Nollywood. I thought about it and decided that this is what we have to do. And the others I spoke with, they all said that I was crazy.
All right.
That will not work, but I'll get them fired.
As a founder of Nollywood, what is your dream for Nollywood?
Nollywood is going to supersede Bollywood within a short time to become the second biggest film industry in the world. And we will eventually compete with Hollywood. But I don't know if I will still be here when that will happen.
All
Because
right.
you see the way we are moving. In 3 decades, we are side by side almost with India. We've taken over the whole of Africa and the diaspora. And even the white. If you come here now, you will know Sky TV has a Nollywood channel, 24 hours Nollywood. You understand? So we are no longer marginal industry. We are now mainstream in the world.
I love
Nollywood films are being duplicated in Bombay, Pakistan. That's why it's moving from to the rest of the world, every part of this world.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
We just need to organize ourselves, take care of our copyright, intellectual property, etc., etc. And the future is very bright for Nollywood.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Bob Ejike. Thanks so much. It's been a wonderful session with you. Thank you. Thank you.